queer, and creative. This panel was comprised from a collaboration with Black at Ben and Queers and Allies, two of our ERGs here at BENlabs. And we are here with three phenomenal human beings that are our panelists. I am Stephanie. I will be moderating this wonderful chat, and we're going to dive in and get to know our panelists just quickly and then go into our questions. So let's kick it off with Jasmine. We cannot hear you. I will jump to Brand Elsa, and then we'll hit Jasmine after.
Jumping in live. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
There we go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brand Elsa. Take two. Hi, everyone. My name is Brand Elsa Pereira. I am from Los Angeles, California. I am a content creator, stilt walker, performer, and my pronouns are they, them, and I'm really excited to be here.
Yes, we've got Jeremy the T.
Hello, can y'all hear me good? Okay, great. Hi, I'm Jeremy Singh, known as Jeremy the T on the internet, and I am a fashion content creator based in Orlando, Florida. I do a lot in the realm of Disney, fashion, and pop culture, and I'm very excited to be here today.
Love it. And Jasmine.
Is this thing on?
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, y'all. My name is Jasmine. I'm a content creator. I am someone who's out here fighting for the lives, trying to get through every day. And I am so excited to be here. My pronouns are she, her. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be here with everybody.
Awesome. I love that we're all together. We have an hour, so we are going to dive into these questions. And the first one is for everyone here. So whoever just feels the passion to jump in first, go ahead. Can you share a bit about your journey as a Black and queer content creator and what inspired you to start creating the content? Anyone?
I'll go first. So what inspired me? I started off as a cruise line performer. I used to work for Disney Cruise Line, and every week I would be calling home or my friends, and I would say, "Oh, I'm horseback riding in Jamaica today," or "No, we're climbing this glacier," and they would ask questions, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just show you. So I started to record my adventures, if you will, very vlog style, very like, here we are today, and it got kind of a little bit of traction because originally it started for just friends and family. But when you have the backdrop, I have Mickey Mouse or Goofy or anyone else walking by, everyone's like, wait a second, what's happening there? So I became a Disney Cruise Line vlogger. And I got at one point, funny story is that like I was walking around with Mickey Mouse, escorting him around the ship, making sure everything's okay. And this family comes up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's you. We're so excited to meet you." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Mickey Mouse." And they're like, "No, we watch your videos." And I go, "Oh, sorry, Mickey." They want a picture with me. So it got to that point. And then I went from Disney Cruise Line to Sesame Street, and I was performing as Big Bird around the country doing a nation tour. And I was, again, traveling and vlogging my adventures. Then the pandemic shut us down. So I am like Tinkerbell, where I'm like, I need a place to live a little bit. So I was sitting in my house with nothing to do but me and my grandmother, and she was tired of my own BS. So I was like, I need someone to tell me what I'm doing. And so I started to connect with people. I used to do like Zoom interviews with people just to get to know my friends a little bit deeper. And that turned into like a new round of, a new avenue, I should say, towards content creation. Oh, I hope whoever that is okay. I don't know if that's coming through, but sirens are going down the street. And so it turned into me being able to connect with other people and start making videos, sharing my own thoughts and my own experiences. And that's what's led me to where I am today, where now I'm a person that puts out a lot of positivity and affirming and uplifting content into the world. And yeah, that's my journey.
Love it. You're going to see who jumps in next, Jasmine.
Okay, yeah, I can share a little bit. I started like my career making content wise within BuzzFeed. I showed up to BuzzFeed and applied for a job that I was not anywhere near qualified for. And they ended up like interviewing me and asking me like questions like, what is your technical skills for filming and stuff? And I was like, technically, I love fashion, and played it off at that. And thankfully, the people that I worked with at BuzzFeed taught me how to film and actually make the content, and like light and everything like that. But I came in there with a real heavy passion of just representation. It was important to me to show a Black lesbian who was into fashion, who was also plus size, who also has OCD, who, you know, like so much around, you know, that it was really important for me not only to bring up myself, but to bring up my community and my friends with me. So I started making videos and content of like plus size girls recreating fashion ads. People recreate the Victoria's Secret fashion show, just a whole bunch of different stuff. And it went off, and I'm very thankful for that. And then I slowly started through that, like making my own content, just talking about everything that has to do with me. And honestly, there's I'm not a good actor, so I can't even fake it, to be honest. Putting out what feels good to me, putting out what feels that'll resonate to people, that people need to hear. And I feel like, especially being Black and queer, a lot of us probably put out more content like that that has to do with really getting into like the souls of people, because we live so much of ourselves out loud. So yeah, I've been making content ever since, and it's been a great time.
Awesome. And Jeremy the T.
All right. Yes, so I actually started my content creator journey in 2020 during the global panoramic. So that was really, really fun. I was actually a college student at the time. So having to move back home with my family was not on my bingo card that year, nor was anything else that happened in 2020. But it kind of started with me being chronically online. And that's when I first kind of jumped into the realm of TikTok. And TikTok was really a different platform back then, because that was like the era of like Tiger King and Cloud Bread, and Tabitha Brown was making carrot bacon. It was just a different place. And so I wanted to kind of join that landscape, and in the process kind of had an identity crisis and just kind of posted things for the different facets of the things that I liked. And eventually, as I was trying to figure out what that was for me, I started posting content under the umbrella of Disney, and that resonated with an audience. And I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And so kind of through that, I did Disney funny content for a while. But then when I started to break into the realm of fashion and Disney bounding, and for those who don't know, Disney bounding is taking inspiration from Disney characters and making fashionable outfits that are inspired by them without having their actual outfits, because adults can't wear costumes to the park. And so it was really leaning into that, and kind of just taking things out of my closet and seeing what I could do with them. And that's where it all started. And to see what it has grown over the past 3 years has been pretty unbelievable. I've gotten to do some really incredible things. I've gotten to see my eye for design grow. I've started to learn how to sew and make my own clothes, and really lean into this passion that I didn't know that I had. And it's been really, really great, really rewarding. And I've gotten to meet some incredible people and hear some incredible stories. And I love what I do. I really do.
I love it. Thank you. And next question, can you share any experiences where your identity influenced the reception of your content, either positively or negatively? And if negative, how did you handle any criticism or backlash? Who wants to jump in first? Jeremy. Okay.
Let me tell y'all something, because I'm actually going through something that's very relevant to this right now. Being in the field that I am, fashion, Disney bounding, and more recently cosplay, there is always this ongoing debate of who can like dress as slash cosplay who, especially when it comes to race. Because the thing that I'm always hearing is like, that character's not Black. Like, why are you dressed as them? Why are you? And I hear it all the time. No matter which character it is that I'm doing. Recently, I cosplayed for a convention a character, like an animated fictional character, who isn't white Caucasian per se, is literally white, like the color of the dress that I'm wearing right now. And everyone's like, well, that character's not Black. Why are you cosplaying them? And I'm like, okay. And my thing with that is fashion kind of knows no bounds, I think. I think you should be able to take inspirations and really kind of like pair it to who you are in your culture, and dress the way you want to. As far as cosplay goes, I know there's like different rules that kind of make it a little different from Disney bounding, but so long as you're not taking aspects of other people's cultures that aren't yours, it be like blackface or like may it be like hairstyle, like protective hairstyles, and your hair's not built for that. It's like there's a line there. So you should be able to dress as who you want. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have heard that TikTok sound, but like Anada isn't Black and she gonna be Black today, and she is. And she is. So yeah, that's my tea on that one. That one strikes a chord with me. So yeah, that's it. There you go.
I love how you just have handled it and just keep being you, authentically you. Yes. All right. Who's next to answer that question? Go ahead, Brandelsa.
I am actually, I really enjoy it. I thank you for this question first off, because it actually comes to mind. Sorry, let me start over. What comes to mind is a time where actually the perceived, it wasn't even a real reception of my content. It was the perceived reception of my content that actually influenced me to not keep making content. And what I mean by that is like the summer of 2016 was just a really, trying year for the queer community and the Black community, because that was the Pulse nightclub shooting in June, and then Philando Castile and Alton Sterling were both murdered in July. And that time, for me, I was on a cruise ship in Alaska, and I have all of these families. A lot of them do not look like me. And they're all coming up to me. They're like, oh, I'm having such a wonderful time. Thank you for being here. And I really do love it and I appreciate it. But I was really like in pain in some cases. And like, I didn't have many places that I could express that to, express that in or express that with. And so my content just kind of sort of felt a little inauthentic at the time, because I was like, how can I be out here doing all these things and saying I'm having a great time when like there are people who look like me who are dying on the daily. And so that actually stopped me from pushing my content out for a while. And while I just like sat in my little shell and reflected, you know, being on a ship and literally isolated from so many people. And so that in doing that, I realized that my content has shifted to the point where like now it's not about how I think other people are going to perceive it. It's more like my identity being Black, being queer, being, you know, fun loving, but also human is what colors my content. It's what makes me stand out from all, because like I'm in no way shading any other like Disney Cruise Line blogger, but like, you know, everyone had their own perspective around Disney, and it's such a sanitized thing already that I felt this pressure to sanitize who I was in order to stay relevant in that space. And now I kind of don't, I don't really worry so much about the way it's going to be perceived. I'm just like, nope, this is the truth of how I see it. And so yeah, that's a way, like it didn't happen. It was just the perception of people being negative and being like, why are you talking about this when really all I want to see is Mickey Mouse? And I'm like, oh, you know, it took me a second, but we're there now, you know?
And we're so happy you overcame that and you're here. Jasmine.
Yes. First, I just want to say both of you for answering so like truthfully and like shedding that part of yourself and showing that part of yourself. I think again, as queer Black people, there's a different standard for us. And sometimes a lot of times things aren't as easy as it is for other people, you know. um I feel like very similarly to both the stories that we heard, when the first video of me went out, I was in a video of I wore a bikini to the beach for the first time, and it was a really fun video. I literally, like, I hate it when people say this on TikTok and they put something on, they're like, I didn't think people would watch it. Yeah, I was that on BuzzFeed, and I didn't think, it's not like I just didn't consider it going viral, and it did. And putting my plus size Black body out there was a lot for me at the time. A lot of criticism. And, you know, for some people, I feel like it's like, that's what you did, so what do you expect? But I'm also not that person that would ever like comment like that. So I had a hard time with it, and it was it took me of where I was like, I was going through comments and I saw these two people like calling me all these names back and forth, tagging each other. And I like went off on one of them. And this was a very long time ago. I went off on one of them. Then I did some digging and realized that they were like two white 13-year-olds from Australia. And I was like, at my big age, like, I need to take it down a notch, you know, the classic, especially for Black people, rise above, you know. It did take me some time, especially with showing so much of like myself physically and what's going on in my mind, but I think it's shaped me to the point of like, now I have a rule that like I won't comment on anything negative until I respond to everything positive that's commented. And that's just like a little thing for me to think about, because it's not about those negative comments that come up. It's about the people that are always rocking with you, you know? So it's hard to go through the negative and the positive. And of course, the negative, like, it's easier to recount negative because that's that stuff that hurts, you know. But I'm thankful for all the experiences, and it's shaped me into caring and, quite honestly, not caring today.
Thank you. I love that. And your role is just spot on. That's awesome. I love that. So are there any specific collaborations or projects you've been involved in that you're particularly proud of, and why?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So last year, I had the amazing opportunity to host the pink carpet for the opening of Hairspray at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood last year, which saying it out loud, still sounds crazy to me, still not over it. And that was really special to me for multiple reasons. One, I probably have had the worst case of imposter syndrome in that moment that I've ever had in my life. Because like they told me what it was going to be, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get to interview the cast, which is really, really fun, and like the crew. They did not tell me I'd be interviewing celebrities. So when they showed up to the carpet, I was like, okay, we're doing this. But it was really special to like get to like have the opportunity to be in that space, and to have people who trusted me enough and believed in the work that I'd presented prior, to believe that I could do it. And it was amazing. I got to interview the likes of like Trixie Mattel and Shangela and Frankie Grande and like just some amazing like people in the queer space. And there was so much love in that room, from the cast to the crew to all of the celebrities. Like, it was the most surreal moment of my entire life. And it made me, one, believe that I could do like the hosting thing and believe that I could belong in spaces like that. And two, kind of like unlocked a new dream for me, and like made me realize that I'm more than just like the Disney content creator, if have you. And so that was really amazing just to have that opportunity. And I still think about it almost every day. And I'm just very proud of how all of that went down.
I love that.
It's okay if I go, Jasmine?
Go ahead.
So two things come to mind, and I'm trying to like contain my excitement about them. One of them is I got to do the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade three times since the pandemic happened, and like technically it's like from carried over from my time at Disney, but for me as a queer Black individual, like I certainly did vlog the entire experience for one thing, but the idea that like I'm not just, but I am a queer Black kid from South Central LA, and to get a chance to be on an event that's so globally like recognized and celebrated was incredible. And so that's one of those things. It's one of those moments where I have to like stop what I'm doing and be like, no, I'm here because I'm meant to be here, and I got myself here by the grace of the universe and all the people who have been placed in my path. And so that's just one that like really sticks out to me. But the biggest one is when I got to do a TED Talk at TEDx Inglewood last year, and getting a chance to share my journey and my story. But I did it from a top 3-foot stilts, and it's the whole message of being true to myself and being authentically me. And in a place like Inglewood, where like 20 years ago, I would have been made fun of and ridiculed for being a little different, or like, what's one of the ways that they would say it? Like, because it was never really talked about, right? So it's always like, oh, he's got a little sugar in the tank, or something along those lines. And those things like still stick with me at the, those little voices, like Jasmine said, at the back of my mind. And then I realized that like, it's because I've gotten through that, and I found my way. It's because I found my way through it that like I now have not a responsibility, but a desire to stand up for other queer kids and Black kids, and like all the kids, but really the queer Black ones specifically, who are like they can see themselves as more than like what other people are saying about them. That's like what I think I'm most proud of, is that having the moment to take the TED stage and be like, this is who I am, and be celebrated for it. It goes beyond words, the feelings just ripple out beyond me. Okay, the end.
I am just gagging. You're both so special. I love to see it. I think some things that have really stuck out to me, I was in the first like Pride launch for Savage X Fenty for their like rainbow cute little lingerie. That was one of my favorite shoots that I've done, so that was a lot of fun. I've worked with Freeform, and they had like a Young Black and Freeform, which they picked a group of people, and we made like a dope commercial, and like just got to talk about our differences and our similarities being Black creators. But I feel like the thing that sticks out to me the most is just making, like, reading the positives again of like, trying something on new and have somebody send it to you and be like, oh, this pushed me to go on a walk today. Like I was so down on myself and you helped me do that. Or like when working with coworkers for like diversity and inclusion, like just seeing kind of a light bulb go off and being like, oh, this is how to be more inclusive. This is how to use my power and my privilege to bring in others with me. So I love the things that I've done like externally, but I think it's those like small moments and hands-on moments that I'm like, yeah, this now we're getting somewhere, you know?
Love it. Thank you all. And next question. So, what do you hope to see in terms of representation and inclusivity for Black and queer content creators in the future? Who's going to jump on that one first?
All right, I will. I think that it is great. It's great and important to have spaces like this where everyone on the panel is Black and queer and shows up and can show up in their authenticity. But I would love it if in those spaces where it's not, you know, about being Black and queer, but a more Black and queer creators are being, you know, in other spaces where our voices are not always heard. And specifically, this is just me. I want all like Black and queer creators to kind of get bigger outside of our own community. Do you know what I mean? Like we all know who, you know, Laith Ashley is or Angelica Ross, but it's like, exactly. I think of Laith and I'm just like, but we know them because like we're in that community. But let's like what would it be like if Laith was on the cover of GQ so that everyone got a chance to see him? What if I'm not going to come up with another example, but I want to see more trans masculine bodies and individuals in bigger spaces because that's something that I think is not being as celebrated and elevated so much. And that's something that I would really enjoy seeing. Sorry, the sun is coming. The sun is shining bright on her today, so we're gonna just have to. There we go. It's bright as my future right there. Anyways, yeah, that's. I'm gonna fix that one.
Yes, you've got the sun and the rainbows actually shining on you, so it's a whole vibe.
I can talk a little bit and add as well. I feel like yeah, just the blank, like the bare minimum is that more Black and queer people everywhere. Something that I've been like kind of fantasizing about is like seeing Black and queer like just a whole like fashion spread or a whole like TV show, and they just so happen to be Black and queer. You know, like it doesn't have to be like the Black and queer show. Like that's just what it is, you know? And so many people, like for how many years we're supposed to connect to like, you know, sitcoms that are like all white or shows that are like all cis and heterosexual. Just like that, we can have an all queer and Black show and everybody can relate to that too, you know? So I just want the base to be brought up of like this is the norm, you know, which I feel like honestly lately is a little bit frustrating just because I feel like, and I'm not sure how everybody else feels, but you know, I feel like there was a good direction going on and then I feel like things have been like going up and down, you know, like seeing less and even thinking about like nominees and people at awards. It's just it's a lot to think about and hope for, but I still remain hopeful to think that we can bust through this. And like no matter how you want to like cut it up or anything, like Black and queer people have started everything that you loved, literally. Every single trend, fashion, music, anything, it was started with Black and queer people. So like let's just give it up. Let's just go.
I love that. I love it. And I saw everyone react to the it's gone down and it's have you and just throwing this in here too, have you seen that in the content creation space too? Not just like TV music, but have you seen that downward trend, and where do you think that's coming from, or do you think it's just in a generalized fashion?
I mean, for me personally, I feel like we can't have this conversation without talking about algorithms and talking about, Black bodies being patrolled differently and not being pushed out, and how people can say certain things on their platforms and can't, like, other people can't on others, and you'll see the ebbs and flows. And I feel like for a lot of Black and queer people, uh those are the people that are reporting about it, so the algorithms themselves are racist. And that's the truth. That's what it is. That's what it is. I don't think I'm sharing like confidential information here.
No, I don't think it's mind blowing or it's a shock to anyone. I think we've all seen it for sure. Jeremy?
Firstly, I need to say, y'all are extraordinary. Y'all out here delivering poetry to the children on this day. Like, come on now. That was wow. That incredible. I agree with both of them. I just seeing more of us in spaces is really important. But I would also like to see too, is that people really like understand and value the work that we do, because I've had my own experiences where, like, for example, maybe because we're who we are, we're not getting paid the same, or we're not getting the same opportunities as some of our other counterparts. And there's this conversation that I have with some of my fellow content creators in our space. A lot of times, Black people and like Black queer people too, we can't be just good. We can't be just great. We have to be extraordinary to get a chance to do some of the things that other people might get the opportunity to do just being a little mediocre. And that's really the tea on it. I'm not gonna, that's just how it is. So I'd like to see our work being valued, our like what we bring to the table being seen as valuable as some of our counterparts, and really see us get more opportunities and get to really shine for what we do. Because like Jasmine said, everything that we like comes from people like us. And people like to conveniently forget that. So that is the tea. That is the tea on that.
Words of wisdom from everyone here. Next question is, what advice would you give to aspiring Black and queer content creators who are looking to break into the industry? Friend Elsa.
I just feel like y'all are just looking at me like waiting for me. At first I was like, hey, I'll do it. I'll step out. I will tell you that the first biggest piece of advice is don't let the numbers or the vanity metrics of following count and likes fool you into thinking that you're not worthy. And I will tell you exactly like when that has shown up, how that has shown up for me last week. Because when the panel, when all the confirmed panelists like our names and I saw these two, I was like, I'm not like, I'll admit, like my following is not anywhere near theirs. And so I was like, do they mean another brand Elsa? Like there's another one, but like, do they mean another brand Elsa out there? Like surely I can't be on this panel. But after, I quickly found my way back to center and was like, no, the universe wouldn't put anything in my path that I'm not ready for. And I think I might've said that earlier today too. So like, if I just continue staying the course, trust that I have something valuable, and like, I don't even have to bring anything. I just have to be myself and show up, and that is the value in itself. So one, don't think that followers or likes equal value. There's a very easy and quick trap to fall into. And the second is like, don't expect your big break in the industry to come from like a big event. I think that it's tiny event, not tiny in the sense in TikTok, not tiny in the sense of scale, but tiny in the sense of like, it's an everyday occurrence. Like it's gonna come quietly, and like a moment like this is a big deal. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to, everything is a step to get you where you're trying to go. So as long as you have your eye on the prize of where you're going to go, you're going to get there, because you're not going to stop walking somewhere in the middle of your journey unless like you really don't think you're going to get there. Do you know what I mean? So the advice is stay the course and don't fall for numbers.
Yes. Oh, such a word as I'm taking notes. Something kind of to like go off of what you were saying. And I think it's such a good point is that like it's going to be the most mundane like thing that you did not even put 3 seconds into that is going to pop off for you. Like it's never the things that I'm like, oh, I've been working on this, let me put out this new project. That's fine and all, but it's the one where I'm like and I post it and it's the one that goes viral. So like to that point, remember to like stay true to you at all times. Now I definitely like suggest being authentic. But if you have to have like a line drawn, I understand that. Just make sure you're being whatever that is at all times. I feel like that, at least when it comes to your work, I feel like that's really important. And also like I guess to go hand in hand with that is like drawing boundaries, you know? Obviously there are ebbs and flows of like, you know, the grind time and you want to be consistent, but if posting that video or making that video is making you feel very not great, it's fine. It's fine. You're more important than your content. And I think I know that just came off the dome. You are more important than your content. um, yeah, I think that's something that I just have realized over several years is like, I know my stuff can help people, but I need to choose me at all times, you know? So remember that. Like heavy, heavy, remember that.
Jeremy, anything to add?
You are more important than your content. Wow. That really, like, come on now. That was a sermon on its own. That was great. I totally agree. I when it comes to like the content journey, first the mundane thing, it really is that, especially with the algorithm, because you could put like days into a project and no one sees it, and it's that one thing that you kind of like, I have this little idea, and that's the one that does it. But in the course of the process, I have two pieces of advice. One, always remember why you're doing what you're doing. It is very easy to get swept up in the concept of the thing, whether it be the opportunities that you want to go after, whether it be the numbers and the competition of it all. It's very important to always remember why you are doing it, whether it be to make a childhood dream come true, whether it to prove something to yourself about yourself, whether it be to make your friends or family proud. Always remember why you are doing the thing that you want to do as far as content goes. And secondly, is to surround yourself with love. I have been very fortunate that my journey has been, I've had the greatest support group. My parents have been so supportive, my younger siblings, my friends, they get me through everything. And it makes it so much easier when you're not taking on the weight of the world and the court of public opinion on your own, because they are monsters sometimes. And it's a lot to have to take on your own, but to share that load with other people, to have people in your life that are willing to champion everything that you are going after is an amazing, amazing feeling and really a game changer on your journey to becoming a content creator.
Thank you all. So we have another question. How can people within Black, LGBTQIA+, and allied communities continue to support Black and queer folks now and beyond Black History Month?
Okay. I follow the routine now. The pattern has started. The easiest way to support is engagement. It's specifically in a virtual space. It's liking, it's commenting, it's sharing, it's reposting, it's sharing all of that stuff. That's the easiest way to support. Not only because like it does for me, I'll speak for myself. Like everyone. I'm not gonna lie, I get a little dopamine hit every time I open it up and there's like a little like heart or someone's like said, "Oh, this is such a cool video. Love that." Even as a simple emoji, honestly, it all helps because I think not that I'm an algorithm expert, but that kind of engagement tells the algorithm like, oh, this is the kind of thing that like is worth putting up in people's feeds more often. Because I think that we all, like even content creator aside, anyone on Instagram is like, wait, I like this photo, but you posted it 3 weeks ago. How am I just now seeing it? Like things are all out of whack. Time is not real on the algorithm space. If you want to get your hands a little dirtier, I'd say bring up the names of people in rooms that you don't see in that room with you. Do you know what I mean? And that doesn't have to be, again, from a content creator space. It's like, oh, everyone here is XYZ, but you know what we're missing? We're missing a good W. We need a W in here. We need a win. Bring in a Black queer person. Bring in, that person that you saw their video, you might have consumed their content online. Be like, hey, maybe we can reach out to them for a consult. Maybe we can reach out to them for some, an internal advice, some dialogue. I don't know. That's where your imagination comes in. By all means, paint the colors. I'm just kind of drawing the outline for you. And those, for anyone out there who is like an extra credit, type A, high achiever, it show up at the functions. It's if it's a space that is open for all, but it's being hosted by a Black or queer person, Black and queer person, excuse me, not or, Black and queer person, and it's not an exclusive space, show up. Be part of the conversation, be part of the community, be part of like letting other people know that that you stand with them at their events is a great way to also know more about us and like get a broader picture. And I think I'm gonna pull the parachute and I am done speaking.
Yes, to go off of that for me, I'm like, money, pay them, definitely. And just like Brand Elsa was saying, like, support, money go hand in hand, right? So if you don't have actual like paper cash, obviously, post people on your platforms, let people do takeovers, invite people to speak on podcasts and everything, as much as you can do that. I think basically everything Brand also said was magnificent. And just a little bit more of bringing people in the room with you, I think is just like realizing your privilege in so many different ways. I think that's really important, and how you can bring along people that you would give the trust you would give any regular white man walking past. Give that same energy to a Black queer person. you know just trust that this will get done and that people can show up for you. I think realizing my privilege, being lighter skinned, being cis, like realizing what I can how I can communicate to people that don't understand, and then bring in the people that they think are so different, but we're not. And it's not like I'm throwing people to the wolves. It's like I'm going to have this conversation, and then I'm going to bring in these different people for you to understand that we deserve money, and everybody does. you know so I think that's really, really important, is just realizing your privilege, having those uncomfortable conversations with the people who are owning companies, and might not be understanding of a lot of things or don't want to understand. It's time to start understanding.
Yeah, that's incredible. It is so important to continue amplifying Black queer voices and bringing us into those rooms and those spaces, and paying us. Amen to that. And I also think it is so important, even if you can't do that to that degree, listen. And I don't mean like listen to us when we tell, really sit and listen, whether it be to the things that we are going through, or we may, whatever issues we face. It's so important because sometimes we feel like we're going through these things and we're like screaming into the ether and no one is listening to us. Like we are just voicing our complaints and what we want to get better, and no one is really heeding that. It's very like we get like surface level responses, be like, okay, and then nothing happens. So listen to what we are trying to express to you and really take a moment to reflect on, like what Jasmine's saying, your privilege, and really take into account that as we, try to be in these spaces that are so much harder for us to get to.
Yes, all great. Listen, yes. Brenda also is giving you a high five, Jeremy. Love it. And I would love to hear if any of you three have questions for each other. Yes.
I sure do. I'm all about manifesting and speaking out what it is that we want and what we're going to bring in. So I'm just kind of curious, what are we working on? What is something that you want to do? What is like a dream goal for anyone on this panel? 2 ears, 1 mouth. Come on, Justin. Oh, I'm so on.
I can speak a little. I guess I shared with y'all yesterday behind the scenes that I'm kind of in like ready for a more behind the scenes career change, and something. I'm a Libra. Y'all need to know. I'm a Libra, and I really love and find a lot of things joyful, and a lot of things that truly like feed me. And so what I'm doing right now is like looking for jobs and like thinking of how I want to continue my career or maybe start new ones. Is just I'm keeping it to like something that pays me for what I'm doing well. Something, yes, Libra gang. Something that feeds me creatively, something that allows me to be like a source of confidence for people, and something that allows me to be myself. Those are like the 4 things that I'm looking for, and I'm just like open to however that comes to me. I'm open to that. So whether that is like content creation for brands, whether that is I played volleyball all my life and becoming a volleyball coach, whether that is like being a stylist, however that shows up to me, being a life coach. There's so many things I'm interested in. And so I'm like really, really trying to just keep my pillars that I have and just be like, what comes to me and meets these will be what it is. So that's what I'm manifesting right now.
And I'm manifesting that for you. You deserve that. You deserve that. Much like Brandelsa, I'm also big into like manifestation and speaking your dreams out. As a matter of fact, my lock screen is my vision board for the year, to keep me on track and remind me of the things that I'm going after. I decided probably late last year that I want to really expand beyond like the Disney creator niche, and really get out there and showcase my like pop culture love, whether it be like hosting or attending premieres and events, and really like getting in there and doing the thing. I really dream of the opportunity to get to do things like that. And also kind of in tandem with that, last year I got to attend my first movie premiere ever, and it had always been a dream of mine to go to a premiere in an outfit that I designed and made myself, which is something that I got to do last year. It was amazing, and I would love the opportunity to have like more opportunities to do that. This year specifically, we're putting it out there. I will be at the Wicked premiere. I need to be there for Miss Ariana Grande Butera, Cynthia Erivo. I need to be there. But yeah, I just am really at the point where I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and really going after the things that I want.
Respect.
Yes.
Come on, already seeing you in your Aussian gala. It's giving Aussian realness on the red carpet, on the green carpet, because you know that's not going to be red. Let's be honest. They had a color purple carpet. For the color purple, it's going to be green. Anyways, let me think. Oh, I think that I should answer my own question. What am I
Definitely
calling in? I really want, this is like crazy, not crazy. No, start over. This is what's going to happen is that I want to write a book. I really want to, there's something I really enjoy, like reading memoirs and biographies of other people. And like, I think that someone out there could benefit from hearing a story like mine. And if not, I could just benefit from not carrying this all in myself. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the times my content is specifically, it's affirmations, uplifting, but it's like what I'm going through. And it's like what I need to hear or what a version of me needed to hear at another time. So I'm going to be writing a book, and we're going to call it BYOB, Be Your Own Bestie, and working title, but soon to be a New York Times bestseller. So we're putting the book out there, y'all. We're going to be booking it. We're going to be on the red carpets. We're going to be paid by all of our pillars, paid for being ourselves. That's what I heard over here. You get paid to be you. Yes.
Yes. Love that. I cannot wait to read your book. And Jeremy, you had a question?
Less of a question, more of a comment, but I know we're like getting closer to the end of our time. And I just wanted to say that this has been incredible. Jasmine, Brand, Elsa, you two are so inspiring and so extraordinary. And you've said such wonderful, authentic things that I feel like we don't really get the opportunity to talk about very often in the realms that we exist in. So I just want to thank both of you for being incredible and being you and really letting your light shine today. Because I don't know about everyone in the audience, but I know I've been inspired today. So you have both been incredible.
Yes, just thank you, first of all. And just going off of that, Brandel, so when you were sharing very vulnerably, when you were looking at like other panelists and like, you know, kind of in your head about it, I went through the very same thing. And I was so happy when we all met because like I feel like I'm hanging out with like friends. Like, you know, like this has been, it's just been so seamless. And shout out to the curator of the panel because like this was put together so well and so thoughtful for somebody to bring us all together and know like that it was going to be this beautiful. It just feels really, really, really great to be a part of. And especially also like brands be really missing Black History Month in general. So like even to be asked to be with these amazing people, I'm just very, very thankful. And yeah, y'all are all amazing. And moderator too. Yes, connecting us all.
Thank you. Thank you. Go, Brand Elsa.
I just want to add some of my thanks and my gratitudes as well to you, Stephanie, Jasmine, Jeremy, Asia. Shout out to Crystal Carter, who like who you know who you are, you know what you did. This has been a beautiful reflection for like where we are right now, for me at least. Like it's been like, oh, this is like these are my people. You know what I mean? Like it's lighting me up because the things that y'all have shared have been like hitting the dark parts of my soul, and like not like dark in a negative way, but just like the parts that I don't access on my own. Do you know what I mean? Like the stuff that like I need someone else to speak life into me. And that's what I've been receiving this whole time. That's why I can't like also sit in my own little square, and I'm trying to like come over to your squares a lot, is because like I just want to be around all your energy all the time. Because that's one thing about Black queer people, is that we will shift the energy of whatever room we're in. So really you want us in the rooms that you're in, because this is the kind of energy that we bring no matter what. Because I think there's something so powerful in all of our authenticities and the way that we bring it, that it's not like anyone else that you see. Do you know what I mean? Like there's something really unique about all of us up here. And I'm so grateful that the universe is like, oh, now's the time for y'all all to meet. Now's the time for y'all all to come together. Like all of our little intersecting circles or separate circles are now intersecting in such a beautiful way. And like, it's nothing to shake a stick at. You know what I mean? Like this is, again, it's a small little moment, but like this is something that will like remain, that's the word, I guess, remain in my heart and my memory. So I'm just very, very appreciative.
I love that. And I am honored. I was honored to be a moderator. And again, shout out to the 2 ERG groups that collaborated and put this together to be able to combine not only Black at Ben, but also queers and allies. Just this was a phenomenal hour. And I thank everyone who joined and watched. And I thank the 3 phenomenal panelists. You 3 were just amazing, inspiring, dropped those words, and I cannot wait to just continue to have wonderful conversations with you 3. So again, thank you everyone for joining this panel, and thank you to Asia, and shout out to everyone else. Love you, Denise. And we out. Bye. Oh, I've got balloons going.